My name is Logan Lyles, and this is my persuasive speech on men having equal parental rights as women. It is July 19th, 2013. My name is Logan Lyles, and I am the daughter of divorced parents. When I first tell people that my parents are divorced, usually the next question is, who do you live with? And my answer has always been both. Growing up, I may have had two homes, but that does not mean my parents did not contribute to my life equally. My mother and father decided to share custody of my brother and I in a shared physical parenting partnership. Now going into my sophomore year of college, I can honestly not imagine growing up in an environment where I would only be able to see my father every other weekend. I switched from my mother's to my father's house each week. It was not easy, and there were times when I felt like I was living out of a suitcase. But being older now, I cannot begin to express how appreciative I am that I could spend an equal amount of time with both my parents, even though they were divorced. If my parents hadn't been amicable, and the law that was in place in 2006, which did not protect fathers against the bias of the court, I have no doubt in my mind that my relationship with my father would be different. I testified before a Senate Judiciary Subcommittee in Columbia, South Carolina, in support of shared parenting legislation, which was later passed on June 18, 2012. As a daughter of divorced parents with a physical and legal shared parenting agreement. And here are some pictures from the subcommittee meeting with me and Senator Knotts, Senator Lori, and Joe Carter. It is important that the law assume no bias and should start with equal opportunity for both the father and mother to be involved in the child's life, physically and legally following divorce. Today I will explain how shared parenting is the best and most beneficial plan of action for a child of divorce. The psychological and social advantage of having both parents in a child's life is invaluable. The bias against fathers in family court is an outdated stigma that can be manipulated by angry mothers using their children as pawns to punish their ex-husbands. Ultimately, the child's best interest should be put first. And today, I will show you how shared parenting does just that. When marriages fail, a belief that mothers are best suited to physically raise their children rather than the father is a bias that is just not always true. Divorced fathers without shared physical custody generally want to spend more time with their children. Legal joint custody and physical joint custody are two different things. Legal joint custody is where the father and mother equally get to make decisions in their child's life, such as schooling, medical records, sports, and religion. Physical joint custody is where the child resides. Our judicial system has historically been biased against the father, where this graph shows this bias. This is taken from a census website where you can see that women or the mothers have generally been awarded custody, way more than the fathers have, as seen in 2007 where 83% of mothers were awarded custody, whereas 17% of fathers. Joe Carter is the founder of the South Carolina Coalition for Parents and Children, declares that if joint legal custody of a child is awarded to the parents, there is a rebuttal presumption that both parents have joint physical custody of the child. A stigma that surrounds divorce is that one party quote-unquote wins. Casey Wilson, author of Where's Daddy? The Mythologies Behind Custom Access Support, published in 2000, states that as long as everyone knows there will be only one parent, that it's all or nothing, winner take all, obviously they will be each other's enemies. Divorce can be a disaster, separation of assets and mixed emotions and feelings. However, the child should never be used as a tool by the parents in order to hurt one another. Peter Kucera is a divorced parent and father who testified with me in the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee. He is unfortunately a victim of the bias of the court. His angry ex-wife manipulated the system in order to ensure he did not get joint physical custody of his child. Mr. Kucera is just one of many fathers that want to spend more time with their children, but are denied that right because the laws have not supported shared physical custody. deprivation is a more reliable predictor of criminal activity than race, environment, or poverty. Casey Wilson, author of Where is Daddy Mythologies Behind Custody Access Support, published in 2000, states that these statistics, that father-deprived children represent 90% of homeless and runaway children, 85% of children that exhibit behavioral disorders, 71% of high school dropouts, and 85% of youths in prisons. A father that is consistently involved in his kid's life can be a life-changing factor to whether they lead a stable, healthy life. If a father is willing and wanting to be in his child's life, he should not be denied that right. Children should feel an equal part of each of their parents' lives, which is why if no signs of neglect or abuse are apparent, shared parenting is the best choice for a child of divorced parents. Studies have been done on shared parenting families that support children with better psychological well-being than that of children who see their father every other weekend or rely on a sole parent. According to Dr. Linda Nielsen, professor of educational and adolescent psychology at Wake Forest University, in an article titled Shared Parenting After Divorce, a review of shared residential parenting, research published in 2011. Dual residents of shared parenting agreements felt closer to both of their parents and were less likely to be stressed by feeling the need to take care of their mother. Joint physical custody can have an impact on the social well-being of a child. In an article titled Shared Parenting After Divorce, a review of shared residential parenting research written by Dr. Linda Nielsen in 2011 states that the shared resident adolescents were better off in regards to antisocial behavior, smoking, depression, and self-esteem. The impact that the current system has on the child-father relationship is disturbing. The little amount of time that a child has with his or her father can result in a crumbling relationship. Dr. Linda Nielsen, professor at Wake Forest University, in a review titled Shared Parenting, a review of the supporting research published in 2010, states that, beginning with the earliest longitudinal studies in the 1980s, researchers have found that children who spend the most time with their father have the closest, most meaningful relationships with them from here on out. Fathers that do not have a shared physical custody agreement are being done a disservice in regards to the future relationship with their child. The bias that is stuck in our judiciary system against fathers is ironically not reflective of the majority of the public's opinions. Generally, men and women favor shared parenting agreements. However, our legal system does not reflect this. Our legal system is clouded in gender bias. Our society urges fathers to be involved in their child's life, but sends an inconsistent message that when compared to mothers, fathers are expendable and less significant. In order to change this bias, we must first address flaws within our legal system. As James Gross, author of Father's Rights, a legal guide to protecting the best interest of your children, states in his book published in 2004, that trying to solve modern family problems with a 400-year-old system is like trying to put a square peg in a round hole. Jay Folberg said it best in his book Joint Custody and Shared Parenting, published in 1991. Parental cooperation can't be easily ordered or legislated, but it can be professionally, judiciously, and statutorily encouraged and endorsed. I do not say this lightly, but family court law is flawed. The expectation of the law should be that when divorce happens, the physical and legal custody of the child should equally be shared between both parents. The importance of a father in raising a child cannot be stressed enough. Looking at statistics alone, fatherless homes create troubled children. The fathers that want to be in their children's lives as an equal parent are not wrong in striving to attain this goal. As the awareness for shared parenting continues to grow, hopefully so will the awareness of our biased judiciary system. Shared parenting is the best option for the child of divorced parents. I can personally testify, as a daughter raised through shared parenting, that it is the best option for the children.